So one of the first things that we thought would be helpful in terms of designing the class, because when you create a web page, you make a decision right away whether or not you want to have a slideshow or a static banner image on your page. So I'm going to demo how to create a slideshow, and then when we start to create the different content types, you can choose whether or not you want to use my slideshow or you want to apply a static image. So I'm going to demo this only, and then we'll turn it over to creating a regular page, and you guys will have a couple of activities to do for that. So remember how I said that the slideshow is that big banner image on the group landing page, or on any page for that matter. The width is delivered to you, and this is pixels, so it's 1,128 pixels wide. If you have an image that's larger, it's going to shrink it to this size, okay? So one thing about Web 1 is there's really no photo editing capabilities whatsoever. So when you're uploading images, particularly on the slideshow, the banner images, you want to make sure that you're uploading the exact right size, because it'll just mess up the look of your image, right? So it fixes it automatically and it doesn't look good. So we have recommendations on the sizes for the slideshows, and this is listed in your guide as well. Yeah, page 16 is the beginning of the slideshow section. But these numbers are listed in there. So when I upload any banner images, I'm going to upload images that are already set to 1,128 pixels wide, and it's my choice to decide on the height of the images or how long the images are. We are recommending a few different sizes. This is 600 pixels, 400, and then 336 for height. So you want to make sure your images are, at some point adjusted to these recommended sizes. The ones I'm uploading today are going to be the ones that are 336, because when we showed our website to students and staff and faculty, they really didn't like the large banner images. They really liked the ones that were kind of slick and small. So I'm giving you an idea of what an image of this size looks like, okay? So get those images ready before you even start creating a slideshow. Now that they're ready, because I do have them on a thumb drive, I'm going to select the slideshow button. All throughout Web 1 and the content types, you're going to see so many of the same buttons. And some of those buttons or tabs across the left are going to be applicable, and some of them are not really, depending on the content type that you're in. So the title up there at the top that has a red asterisk is a required field. If you tried to save it, it would just say you forgot to fill out the required field, basically. So I'm going to give my slideshow a title. This doesn't display to the public. This just describes the slideshow. So I have a title here because my images are just animal-related images. So you give it a title, and then you select media. This is this button right here. This window will pop up and you can upload. It's just like uploading an image to, from your thumb drive. So if I select browse, I'm going to go to my thumb drive, select my already sized image. And then click upload. It'll give you a little preview that it has successfully uploaded, and then select the submit button. Okay, so in this screen itself, you have to always, for accessibility reasons, do alternate text on every image that you upload in Web 1. So you want to make sure that when you're doing your slideshow, you enter in this information right here. It's a requirement, but in Web 1, it's not a required field, but it is a requirement for our website. So I'll give this a good description. That way, when a user hovers over the image, it pops up and it will tell them what that image is is. So I'll select Save after that. And this is my first banner image. These next two or next three fields, slide title. So remember on our group landing page for IT, our slides had a title right here, and then a hyperlink. So the title, when I put in a title here, it's going to be the information on the left, and then the title with the URL will be the hyperlink that is on the right. So I'll stick in a title. And then enter in a URL. All right. So right now, if I saved it like this, it would be one static image, no rotating slideshow. And I'm just going to keep it as one static image. But I'm going to take you through these tabs that we're going to be always seeing in every content type just to show you what they are. Groups is going to, by default, it's going to have your group listed here. Revision information. Once I save this, the status for the state for published will display too. So the way that you can apply a slideshow is you have to publish the slideshow so that people can then use it on their web pages once they're going to create web pages. If it's still in draft state, it won't be an option to choose from. You'll see that when we create a basic page. So once I save this, I'm going to choose published from the state, but it doesn't display until I save it, and save is down here. URL path settings is not really one of those buttons that you're going to use or put in information for a slideshow. And the meta tags, this is kind of what the search optimization is. So it takes information from the title of your slideshow and some description and starts tagging it so that when people are sort of Googling, it'll bring up relatable images and web pages. So automatically it is providing some search engine optimization, but if you want to go in and re-enter information to be very specific and dice down, you can do that by deleting this information and re-entering. But by default, it's doing the search engine optimization for you. So at this point, I'll go ahead and save this. And it will give me a little preview of what I just created. And I did this on purpose for us. So it's still unpublished. That means that if other people are trying to create a web page and use this banner image, they can't. And I did this on purpose because when you're writing your title and your link URL, you have to make sure it's short, because it will do this to you if it's not. And you really have to make sure it's short, because if you consider users who are using a mobile device, shorter the better for those, because it will display funny on a mobile device too if the information is too long.
So the font size is automatic? It shows that big?
Yes, the font size is automatic. It's just make sure your wording here is very short and concise. It looks nice when it's done right, but I wanted to do that on purpose. So if I go back to, if I want to edit this, I would simply use the Edit Draft tab, and I'm going to go ahead and do that. Just take out a little bit of information here. And that will fix our problem. And then you notice if I go to Revision Information, since I saved it, that published state displays. So there you have it. I'm going to publish this with my new information. One thing that we train all users in the class to do, no matter what your role is to log a message for the state change. So right here I would say I fixed the lengthy URL, just so that in case a creator or editor if you're publishing their content, you can get a message from them that directs you to where you should look for that revision. So whether or not we're a publisher or not, I do train people to log messages here. Because imagine having a web page with a bunch of text and somebody just said publish it after you've just asked them to revise it. You want to explain the parts that was revised. So this is the area to call that out. All right, so I will go ahead and save this. And we have a better looking image there. Okay, so I'm going to navigate right back to my workbench, which was kind of my home space. So we'll do my workbench. I could jump right to my content and find that slideshow if I wanted to, because I created that. Or I could use the Site Content tab, and I could really get narrowed down, choose Slideshow. See, there we go. I named it Animal Slideshow. So there, we found it really quickly. As long as you knew part of the title, you can also leave that blank. So now this is available for you to use when you create your content pages. I'm going to create a content page, and then Tina's going to explain the